Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now before we get into this, we have to talk about the car that is sitting here right behind me, and this is of course the Pfister Comet Safari that is available to be won within the LS car meet this week. It's an absolutely awesome car. It is weaponizable within the MOC or Avenger. You can put front-mounted machine guns on it, which is really awesome, and generally it is a great off-road vehicle with some really awesome customization, and overall it's kind of underrated. Not many people seem to know about the Pfister Comet Safari, but those of you who do know about it will know just how good this car is. It's absolutely insane. You guys should definitely try to win it this week. We're going to talk about it a little bit later when we go over to the car meet, but for right now we got to talk about how to make some money this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. So to get things started, we have double money and double RP on the data leaks missions for the agency. Those are going to be paying double money and double RP for the remainder of this week, so you can earn quite a bit of money doing those, which is pretty awesome. We also have double money and double RP on the short trip missions with Franklin and Lamar. These are pretty awesome, paying double money and double RP of course, so you guys should take advantage of that if you're interested. And of course, last but not least, we have double money and double RP on Sumo Remix, which has been added back into Grand Theft Auto Online for the remainder of this week. Double money and double RP on this is super fun. If you can get a good group of friends going, or even with randoms, this is actually a super fun game mode to try out. So I would definitely highly recommend this if you guys are interested. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about some of the discounts that are going on this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, as far as discounts go this week, guys, we have a property discount this week to start us off, and you're going to find it under the Dynasty 8 Executive Realty website. So in here, you're going to enter into the site, and then you are going to go to the agencies, and agencies are 30% off this week, including the initial purchase price, plus upgrades and modifications to them. So for the vehicle workshop, stuff like that, accommodation, all of it is going to be 30% off. So if you don't have an agency yet, you should be buying one this week. It is a great business to have. However, do keep in mind that the new DLC is coming and they are wanting you to spend all of your money before that happens so that you'll be forced to buy shark cards. So do keep this in mind, but the agency certainly is a good business to own, that is for sure. And on Legendary Motorsport, we have some discounts going on this week. We have the Classique Broadway discounted this week by 40% off, which is a pretty substantial discount. The car still isn't very good, but it could be cool if you guys are interested in era-specific cars like this. It's an older car, and if you're into that sort of thing, you might want to pick it up. But if not, no problem. I'd actually recommend against it for most people, but it does have some pretty unique customization, so do keep that in mind. On Warstock Cash and Carry, you will find that the taxi is discounted. Please do not buy this. It is a complete waste of money and your time. You don't need it to do taxi work either, so do keep that in mind. Overall, it just sucks. It's a waste of time. Do not buy one. You can literally call up a taxi to come and get you and just steal the taxi, and you'll save yourself, $292,500 up to $390,000 depending on if you have the trade price or not. So please, for the love of God, do not buy a taxi. Over on Southern San Andreas Super Autos, we have the Karen Hot Ring Everon discounted this week, which is actually a pretty cool vehicle, as well as the DeClassy Tahoma Coupe. Now, the Karen Everon is locked in the Hot Ring class when it comes to races, so you can't really use it in anything else. It is a really sick truck, but in free mode, it's really not the best, and it doesn't actually have that much customization. However, it does have a ton of liveries, so that is pretty cool. It's one redeeming factor, but for most players, I would say this is an avoid this week. However, we also have the DeClassy Tahoma Coupe, which is actually a pretty interesting muscle car. It's got some nice customization, I would say. Overall, the looks are decent, but for 900 grand, I can't really justify buying it for me personally. However, if you're really interested in the Tahoma, if you've been waiting for it to go on sale for a long time, obviously, you're probably going to want to pick it up. But I would recommend against it for most people, especially with the new DLC coming. Scrolling a little bit further down, we also have the Vapid Dominator GTX discounted, as well as the DeClassy Hot Ring Saber as well. Now, the Vapid Dominator GTX has engine resistance, meaning it is extremely slow for how much it costs. Now, granted, $435,000 isn't exactly a lot of money these days in Grand Theft Auto Online, and this thing does have some really awesome customization, but the performance will disappoint you to no end, so do keep this in mind for sure. The DeClassy Hot Ring Saber is cool, however, again, it is locked into that Hot Ring class when it comes to racing, so for other stuff, you can't really use it very well, and even if you did use it for other races, it's not going to perform very well. It's only really good in a straight line. It can barely turn, but it is still a cool car. And again, not much in the way of customization. However, it does have a ton of liveries. So that is where this thing shines for sure. Overall, if you're going to get this or the Hot Ring Everon, I'd say probably go for this just because it's a lot cheaper. And also on Southern San Andreas, but under the 4-door section, we have the BF Surfer Custom as well as the Zirconium Journey 2, both discounted. Both of these vehicles are completely awful in every single sense of the word. The BF Surfer Custom is actually slower than the Zirconium Journey 2 somehow, which is extremely sad to think about because the Journey 2 is sad as hell as it is, but the BF Surfer Custom still manages to be even slower. They do have some upgraded customization over the regular Surfer as well as the regular Zirconium Journey. Well, that one you can't even customize, but the Zirconium Journey 2 you can actually customize a little bit, so that is kind of cool. The Surfer Custom does have quite a bit in the way of customization, but both of them suck, and I would definitely recommend avoiding both of them at all costs. Please, for the love of God, guys, do not buy either of these vehicles. We have the podium vehicle for the week. It is, of course, the DeClassy Drift Tampa, a pretty cool vehicle. Definitely one that I would look into if you guys are interested. The Drift Tampa goes for $995,000, and it does have the new Drift tuning modification available for it. So if you're interested, it is definitely something that I would recommend picking up. And within the LS car meet, we have the Pfister Comet Safari available to be won this week. It is a pretty cool car. It's actually weaponizable, which is really sweet. And in order to win, you're going to have to place top 1 in 5 races. So you can do this all in one shot in one day. You don't have to do 5 days in a row. So this is actually a pretty easy challenge. Definitely something that I would recommend looking into for sure. It's a really, really awesome car, and for this challenge, you can definitely win trade with a friend back and forth until you get it. It's an awesome car, definitely go for it. And of course, these are the vehicles that are available within the LS car meet to be purchased this week. We have the Pegassi Torero on the left, the Grotti Cheetah in the middle, and the Pfister Comet SR on the right. Now, out of these three, if you guys want my opinion on which ones you should be buying this week, I would say definitely the Grotti Cheetah as well as the Pfister Comet SR. Now, unfortunately, the Pegassi Torero is not that fast. It is in the sports classic category, and in that category, it does not perform very well. It can barely perform in free mode. As a matter of fact, the handling is absolutely awful on this thing. However, it is based off of the old Countach, which is pretty cool. So as a showpiece, it's really good, and it's got a lot of good customization as well. But in terms of driving, similar to the real life Countach, it's pretty darn bad. So that is really disappointing, but if you guys are interested in it, it is a pretty cool car. And of course, it is actually discounted this week, which is awesome too, and it is going to be going for 40% off this week, which is not a bad discount. Now, the other two vehicles here are also discounted, that being the Pfister Comet SR as well as, of course, the Grotti Cheetah. They are both 40% off as well. So, for example, the Torero is going for, let's see, how much is it going for? Just under $600,000 this week. The Cheetah is regularly $650,000, so it's going for $390,000 this week. And the Comet SR is just over $1 million, I believe it usually is, so it's going for $687,000. The Comet SR also has a decent amount of customization, which is awesome, and it handles absolutely phenomenally. And the exhaust also sounds really, really awesome on this car. It's a great driver's car, a great sports car to have. The Cheetah is a really cool car. It's one of my personal favorites. It's not going to be for everybody though, and the lack of customization is, well, yeah, there's a big lack of customization. And it is a bit of an issue with this car, I won't lie. For me personally, I love it anyways, but for a lot of people, it's probably not going to be one that you're going to be super duper fond of. So out of these three, I would definitely make it the Comet SR if you're only able to buy one this week. Within Simeon's dealership this week, we have a few more pretty awesome cars and some good discounted cars as well. Starting off here in the corner, we have the Lampadaddy Michele GT. It is a pretty cool vehicle. It actually has a lot of customization as well, which is awesome, and it's actually a pretty fun car to drive. It is based off of an old Lancia, I do believe it is. Which is really, really nice, and the customization on this thing is absolutely phenomenal, and it is actually discounted this week as well, and it is discounted by 40% off, so it's going for $754,000 this week. It is a little bit on the overpriced side of things, so I would maybe stay away from it, especially with some of the other cars that are available this week, but it is still a cool one. We also have the Grotti GT500 available this week in Simeon's as well. The Grotti GT500 unfortunately has basically no customization, so it's not really that awesome of a vehicle customization wise. However, it's okay to drive. Now unfortunately this thing is not actually discounted this week, so it's going for $809,510. A little bit on the overpriced side for me personally, but you might be interested in it. We also have the Canis Seminole Frontier available this week in Simeon's dealership, which is actually a pretty awesome vehicle with a lot of customization. This thing has pretty much everything that you could ever want on a Jeep from this era. Running boards, it's got front bumper options, it's got roof options, it's got mirrors, it's got rear bumper options, it's got all kinds of stuff that you can do to it. It's a really, really cool vehicle, and it's definitely one that I would recommend looking into this week. It is definitely pretty unique. We also have the regular Fister Comet finally available in Grand Theft Auto Online again. It has been forever since they added this thing back into the game, it feels like. Really, really cool car. It is removed, of course, so definitely check this thing out. The regular Comet does only go for about $100,000. I think $100,000 exactly, which is not a bad price. And of course, you can make it into the Fister Comet Retro Custom through Benny's if you guys are interested. Now unfortunately no discount on it, but it is only 100 grand, so if you are interested in it, you should be picking it up this week for sure. And last but not least, within Simeon's dealership we have the Dinka Akuma, which is a motorcycle that is basically just regular traffic in GTA. You can steal this thing off the street. However, it has been removed from being purchasable, and it is $9,000 this week. If you guys are interested, it is a pretty cool motorcycle. Not a lot in the way of customization, but it rides okay. Overall, it is a decent bike. And of course, guys, this week we have the, what is it called? The Impaler LX, as well as the Vapid Dominator GT available within Luxury Autos. Mid. Shocking, I know. So yeah, that's Luxury Autos, I guess. Within the Chop Shop this week, these are the vehicles that are available to be stolen. We have the Vapid Ellie, the Benefactor Sterling GT, as well as the Fister Neon. Now, in order to get the Fister Neon, you're going to have to complete the Duggan robbery. For the Benefactor Sterling GT, you will need to complete the McTony robbery, and for the Vapid Ellie, you will need to complete the Gangbanger robbery. Last but not least, of course, we do have to talk about your time trials. Your RC Bandito time trial is Cypress Flats. Your Junk Energy time trial is Mirror Park. Your regular time trial is Elysian Island. And your HSW time trial is North Chumash to Palomino Highlands, and it ends somewhere right around here. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed the video, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.